Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to County Court at Law number 2. My name is Judge Terrence Holmes. I'm the presiding judge here in County Court at Law number 2. You were asked to come to court this morning because you have a case in this court. The case that you have is classified as a misdemeanor. County Court at Law number 2 handle misdemeanor courts. The district courts handle felony courts. Your case is not a felony, it's a misdemeanor. Criminal cases are divided into felonies or misdemeanors. Your felony cases are your most serious type cases, and they are handled in the district court. And the misdemeanor cases are commonly referred to as petty offenses, but it does not mean that they are not serious. Now, if you had a felony case, it will be it would be classified as either a capital murder, first degree felony, second degree felony, third degree felony, or a state jail felony. And the range of punishment for a state jail felony is a person will be placed in a state jail for a period of 6 months up to 2 years, a fine up to $10,000. If you had a third degree felony, the range of punishment is 2 to 10 years in the state penitentiary, a fine up to $10,000. If it's a third degree felony, the range of punishment is from, if second degree felony, the range of punishment is from 2 to 20 years in the state penitentiary, fine up to $10,000. If you have a first degree felony, the range of punishment is 5 to 99 years to life in the state penitentiary, and a fine up to $10,000. Or if you have a capital murder case, the range of punishment is either, if you're convicted, is either life or death. Now, for the misdemeanor cases, we have a Class A, Class B, and a Class C misdemeanor. Your Class C misdemeanors are cases that are handled in the JP court, which is the justice court, or the city court, which is the municipal court. If a person is convicted of a Class C misdemeanor, they cannot be given any jail time. It's fine only. That's all you can get is a fine. Now, those cases do come to this court when a person filed an appeal from the JP or the municipal court, and then the case comes to this court, and the range of punishment does not change. It's still fine only. Now, the Class B misdemeanor, the range of punishment, a person can get anywhere from 0 days to 180 days in the county jail, or anywhere in between, a fine from $0 to $2,000, or anywhere in between, or you could get both such fine and confinement. For a Class A misdemeanor, which is the highest misdemeanor, the range of punishment is from 0 days to 365 days, which is a year in the county jail, or anywhere in between, a fine from $0 to $4,000, or anywhere in between, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Now, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have rights. One of the rights that you have is a right to have an attorney. Now, the clipboard that has been passed out with the paperwork on it, you will find the first documents is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. As a defendant in a criminal case, you have 3 options with regards to having an attorney to represent you. Number 1, you may hire an attorney. Number 2, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Or number 3, you may represent yourself. If you want an attorney to represent you and have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. At the bottom of that document, it states defendant's choice. Mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case to hire my own attorney, then you will put your initials on the first line to the left. If you have already hired an attorney, then you will put your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you'll put your initials on the third line to the left. If you have already been appointed a court-appointed attorney to represent you in this case, then you'll put your initials on the fourth line to the left. If your choice is, I want to waive my right to an attorney and represent myself, then you'll put your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you have finished initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign your name on the line that's titled defendant and today's date, which is March 15th of 2022, on the line that says date. Now, for those of you who will be waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself, then you will need to read the next page that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea or Proceeding to Trial. And it reads, I have been advised of the nature of the charges against me and the dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. My waiver is voluntarily and intelligently made. Furthermore, I have been advised this 15th day of March of 2022 by the county court at law of my right to representation by counsel in the case pending against me. I have been further advised that if I am unable to afford counsel, one will be appointed for me free of charge. Understanding my right to have counsel appointed for me free of charge, if I am not financially able to employ counsel, I wish to waive that right and request the court to proceed with my case without an attorney being appointed for me. I hereby waive my right to counsel. And if that's your choice, then you will sign on the line that says defendant, and you will date it today's date, March 15, 2022. You have other rights as well. You also have a right to have a trial by jury. And where the people are sitting in that area, we call that the jury box. 6 citizens from Jefferson County will be selected to sit on your case, and they will decide whether or not you are guilty or innocent after listening to all of the evidence. You also have a right to waive or give up your right to have a trial by jury. And what that means is you have a right not to have a trial by jury if you do not want to have a trial by jury. Now, if you waive your right to have a trial by jury, then your case will come before the judge or before this court in one of 3 ways. One way it will come before the court or the judge is by way of a trial without a jury. We call that a bench trial. And the judge, after listening to all of the evidence, will decide whether or not you're guilty or innocent, and the judge would also assess the punishment. Now, you also Your case can also come before the court by way of a plea. There are two types of pleas. One is an agreed plea bargain agreement. That is, if you have an agreement with the district attorney's office to settle your case. And the other one is an unagreed plea bargain where you do not have an agreement with the district attorney's office to settle your case. Now, the first plea is an agreed plea bargain. If you're in the state or you're in your attorney or your attorney has worked out an agreement with the state to settle your case, then your case will come before the court or before the judge, and the judge will decide whether or not he will follow the plea. Now, if the judge does not follow the plea bargain agreement, you have a right to take back or withdraw your plea. For example, let's say you and the state has come to an agreement, and that agreement is 5 days in jail. And the judge says, well, I'm not going to follow that plea bargain agreement. Then you and your attorney can say, well, judge, we withdraw, or we take back our plea. In essence, you can withdraw your plea if the judge do not go along with your plea bargain agreement. Now, if the judge does go along with your plea bargain agreement, and you decide later on that you would like to appeal your case, when I say later on, within 30 days, that you like to appeal your case, in essence, you like to have a higher court to look at the case to see whether or not you was wrongfully convicted, the court committed an error convicting you, then you would have to get permission from the court to appeal your case, all right? Now, the other way your case can come before the court is by an unagreed plea bargain. And what an unagreed plea bargain is, you and the state has not reached an agreement, and you want the judge to decide what the punishment is going to be, what the punishment will be in your case. Now, you also have a right to have witnesses to come to court. What this gentleman is sitting in that area, we call that the witness stand. And what witnesses do, they can testify. They can testify either for you or against you. You can ask them questions. If you're representing yourself or if you have an attorney, your attorney could ask them questions. We call that either direct examination or cross-examination. Now, you also have a right to waive or give up your right to have witnesses to come to court. Now, by doing so, you will not be calling witnesses, but it does not mean that the state will not be calling witnesses, because you'll be waiving your right to call witnesses on your behalf, not the state's behalf. Now, you also have a right against self-incrimination. And what that means is you have a right not to testify in your case. It's a Fifth Amendment right in the United States Constitution that states that you have a right to invoke your right just against self-incrimination. You have a right not to testify, and the state can force you to testify. Nobody can force you to testify. Now, you also have a right to waive or give up that right against self-incrimination. In essence, you have a right to say, well, I waive my right against self-incrimination and I want to testify. So you have a right to testify by waiving your right against self-incrimination. The other right that you have a right for discovery. And what discovery means, you have a right to see the evidence that the state of Texas has against you in your case. You have a right to see the witness statements, your statement, if you had a statement. You have a right to see documents, videos, whatever evidence, objects, or whatever the state has in your case. You have a right to see that. That's called discovery. Now, you also have a right to waive or give up your right to discovery as well. In essence, you say, well, I don't want to see the evidence. You'll be waiving or giving up your right to discovery. Now, everyone here for arraignment is here either on a cash bond or what we call a surety bond. You have a bondsman, or you have what is called a PRA bond. That means that you're on your own recognizance. Now, and what that just simply means is you went to jail, you was arrested, and you're out on bond. Now, every day that you spent in jail until you was bonded out, you can get credit on that towards your sentence. So for example, let's say you have, you spent 5 days in jail. And let's say the state is offering you to settle your case 5 days in jail. Well, what that means is you will not have to serve any more time in jail because the 5 days that you already spent in jail will be credited toward your punishment. In essence, you will be given what is called credit for time served. Now, if they offer you 7 days in jail and you did 5, that means you have to do 2 days in jail. Now, also, every day that you spent in jail is credited as $100 per day that will go toward your fine and your court costs. So, for example, the state is offering you fine and court costs of $500. You spent 5 days in jail. You won't have to pay anything. Why? Because the 5 days that you spent in jail is $500, and the fine and court costs will be taxed and retired. Tax and retired means you won't have to pay it because it's already been paid by the time that you have already spent in jail. Now, if they offer you fine and court costs of $700 and you spent 5 days in jail, that means you have to pay $200. Now, if you can't pay the $200 on the day of the plea, then the court can have you to pay it in installments. In essence, put you on a payment plan. And let's say, even if they put you on a payment plan, you don't have money, you still will not be able to pay it. Then what the court can do then is convert your fine and court costs to community service. And that simply means you'll have to work it off by doing community service in the community. And every hour of community service that you do, you get credit at $12.50 that will go toward your fine and court costs. So for example, if you work 8 hours of community service, or even 1 day, that's $100 that will go to your fine and your court costs, all right? Now, Jefferson County has a program that is called pretrial diversion. Pretrial diversion is a program for first-time offenders. And the way the program works is if you get into the program, your case is dismissed and you can get it expunged from your record. And I'll explain that to you. You get it, the way you get into the program, you get an attorney who helps send an application to the district attorney's office. And then if it cannot be an offense for unlawfully carrying a weapon or resisting arrest, and you cannot have a criminal history. So if you get into the program, once you get into the program, your case is dismissed, you complete the program, that you can get it expunged from your record. What an expunction is, it means to erase, delete, or wiped off from your criminal record. So it's no longer there. Now, and that's the program for pretrial diversion. Now, if you are a veteran of any one of the branches of the United States military, then they have a program called Veterans Court. And the Veterans Court program basically works the same way. The only requirement is you just have to be a veteran. You get into the program, they complete the program, your case is dismissed, you can get it expunged, erased, deleted, or wiped off from your record, your criminal record. Now, this court has a program that is called the Community Safety Initiative. It is a program that is designed to address the issue of recidivism. What recidivism means is like when people continue to commit crimes over and over. That's recidivism. And so the program that we have is called the Community Safety Initiative, which is the CSI program. And that program is designed to address the issue of recidivism. And it's designed to make Jefferson County a safer place for all of us to work, go to school, raise our children, go to church. And the way the program works is we have partnerships with local agencies in our community. One agency that we have a partnership with is Spindletop Center. Spindletop Center is our local mental health agency. And with the Spindletop Center, we have individuals here from Spindletop who's sitting in the jury box. We have as well as mental health officers here as well. And so what Spindletop would do, they would conduct a private interview. We have a conference room in the back. They can do a private interview. They can do an assessment. They can develop a treatment plan, either outpatient or inpatient treatment to address your mental health needs. Now, when I say mental health, you don't have to be insane. You don't have to be incompetent. A person could be suffering from PTSD, or they could be bipolar, paranoid schizophrenic. They suffer from anxiety, depression, and a whole host of other mental health issues. They can address those issues. If a person have a problem either with drugs or alcohol, Spindletop has a program that is called ATAR. ATAR stands for Addiction, Treatment, and Recovery. Their program is individuals 21 years old or younger, and they can do a private interview, they can do a screening, they can develop a treatment plan, either outpatient or inpatient treatment to address any drug or alcohol needs. Now, for individuals who are older than 21, we have a relationship or partnership with OZAR. OZAR stands for Outreach, Screening, and Assessment Referral. It is a local alcohol and drug abuse council. They can do the same thing. They can do screenings, interviews, develop a treatment plan, either outpatient or inpatient. They can refer you to either outpatient or inpatient treatment. If you are unemployed, well, we have a partnership with the Golden Triangle Empowerment Center, who has a partnership with Lamar University. Lamar University has a program that is called CICE. It stands for Center for Innovation, Commercialization, and Entrepreneurship. It is a job training and a job placement program. Individuals are trained in either the hotel industry, the shipping industry, or the chemical industry. And once they're trained in one of those areas that they choose, then CICE will assist them at getting employment in the area that they're trained in. If a person, or if you do not, if you have not graduated from high school, you do not have your high school diploma, CICE has a GED program. They can help you to get your diploma through the CICE program at Lamar University. Now, all of these programs that I just mentioned are free. It does not cost you anything. Only thing you have to do is have a desire to be in the program. And the other thing about the program is all of the programs that I just mentioned can be used as community service. So what that simply means is, if you have a fine, you cannot pay the fine and court costs, is converted to community service. If you're in one of those programs, while you're in one of those programs, you're killing 3 birds with 1 stone. And what I mean by that is, you're in the program. For example, let's say you're in the job training program. While you're in the job training program, every hour that you spend in that job training program will go toward your community service, and $12.50 will go toward your fine and court costs. So you doing one thing, but you're getting credit for 3 things. I tell people this all the time: when you come to county court at law number 2, we do not have court as usual, we have unusual court. And it's not because we're different, but it's because we're trying to make a difference in the lives of the individuals that comes before the court. And we do not just, in this court, we take our time. We do not just give time, we take our time. And we do not just arrest the problem, we address the problem through other various programs that we have. And as I said earlier, the program is designed, actually is designed to produce productive people. So we believe that by producing productive people, we can make Jefferson County a safer place for all of us to live, work, go to school, raise our children, go to church. And so if you're interested in the program, just let us know. We have brochures that we can give to you so that you can get in contact with the right persons to get into the program that you may be interested in. Now, we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have individuals from Spindletop, and we're going to have Deputy Hinton, who is a local mental health officer. He's going to come forward and tell you a little something about the program that they have at Spindletop. At this time, introduce to you Deputy Hinton.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Good morning. My name is Steve Hinton. I am a mental health deputy licensed by the state of Texas. I'm here with my partner, Chris. She is a qualified mental health professional at Spindletop. Also, my friend behind her is Wade. He is a veteran affairs specialist. The reason we are here today is because the judge has graciously allowed us in his courtroom because he cares about every single person that comes before his bench. The judge believes that if he can address mental health issues or substance use disorders, he can get you out of the cycle of arrest. If this applies to you, then I'm going to ask you to take advantage of it. It's going to need to be a bold step on your part. You're going to have to share that need with Chris and I. And as the court goes into recess, we'll be discussing this further with you individually. Your information is private, it's HIPAA regulated. No one will know anything about what we talk about outside your permission. Now, at the very least, I want to give you this flyer. This flyer tells you a little bit about what the court does. On the front, it has a 1-800 number, and this 1-800 number is a crisis hotline. Should you ever find yourself in an unsafe place, you can call that number and get help immediately. As the judge spoke about earlier, if you want to talk about any situation that's pertaining to you personally, or maybe a family member, we can speak to the back. We can go in the back and we can speak back there, and we can personally kind of design a program, a treatment option, and some resources and things that would be basically beneficial to y'all should y'all see a value in that. But Wade.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Wade Adair. I'm a veteran coordinator at Spindletop Center for the Texas Veterans Commission. My job is to help veterans find resources and benefits in local community. Also help veterans with VA medical and VA benefits. As I mentioned, local resources in Jefferson County Court, as the judge mentioned, offers veterans treatment court. If you're a veteran here today, I want to spend some time with you talking about how we can get you qualified for that court. If you have a family member that's a veteran that may need some services, I can also speak to you about that. I'll be glad to help them too. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Deputy Hinton. Thank you, Wade.
Thank you, sir.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do, we're going to have our court staff who is going to come and pick up the paperwork. They're going to help. They're going to go through the paperwork to make sure that it's filled out properly. This is going to take a little time, and so just bear with us. And at this time, the court will be in recess.